Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Welcome to This Way Out Global Queer Read-In. I'm your host, Brian DeShazor, for this 12-hour marathon, bringing queer literature and poetry to the fore to celebrate Pride. Happy Pride. I am Brian DeShazor, if I didn't say that already. And what we're about to hear today is 15-minute excerpts of LGBTQIA literature read by over 30 people. The marathon begins here at noon, and about 15 minutes from now, we're going to start with our first reader. But I want to tell you a little bit about This Way Out, the International Gay and Lesbian Radio Show. It's a weekly radio show that consolidates news and culture of LGBTQ life around the globe and redistributes it, consolidates it, and puts it back on terrestrial radio around the globe in over 150 radio stations. This is a fundraiser, so go to thiswayout.org and you can find out ways that you could sponsor this event and support and sustain This Way Out Radio, which is under the umbrella organization Overnight Productions. So what's going to happen today and how it's going to work is that about every 15 minutes, there'll be a new reader, a new book, a new poem, and it's incredibly gratifying to know that people so generously have given of their time and efforts to bring literature and celebrate Pride in this different way here in this virtual reality that we have now. While we are isolated during the COVID pandemic and protests are going all around the world, this is a way to become more intimate and connect with each other through the spoken word and the written word. The idea came to me while I was directing This Way Out's news wrap, and the news headline was Mr. Jericho Brown had won the Pulitzer Prize for poetry, being the first Black gay man to have done so. And I thought, boy, wouldn't it be great if we could have him read for us. And my friend Maryland Poet Laureate Grace Cavallari, who hosts The Poet and the Poem for over 43 years, agreed to, for the first time, film that discussion between Jericho and her. And he'll be reading from his Pulitzer Prize winning poem. That happens, I believe, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Time. And we also have actor Alfre Woodard, who at 5:30 Pacific Time will be reading from James Baldwin's The Fire Next Time. Playwright Charles Bush, Alexis DeVoe, Sophie B. Hawkins, and a number of people, over 30, will be reading for you. What I wanted to do in bringing this project was to bring literature and poetry to the present and hear it read by a wide range of LGBTQ people and their straight allies. And I wanted to sort of sit down, take a book off the shelf, and read it by my friends and family, by a global family. And I wanted to hear the words and read the words of wisdom, love, joy, pain, and rage. But as that global family. And I think what we're about to see is actually that, a witness of the breadth of LGBT community around the globe, the breadth of literature and poetry and what it means to us. This is an uncurated event, except for The Fire Next Time. I wanted and needed James Baldwin's words in this broadcast. I needed to hear them. The way it worked was I uncurated it by just simply asking people what was that book that sparked you to your journey to your authentic self. For me, it was The Naked Civil Servant by Quentin Crisp. And we're lucky enough to have the opening of our broadcast be from Quentin Crisp's autobiography, posthumously edited by Mr. Philip Ward. So let's see what else. The broadcast is going to be closing at 10 p.m. this evening with going back to harkening to our days, the LA Theater Works has given us a 2-hour radio drama called 8 by Dustin Lance Black. That stars Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Martin Sheen, and about 20 other all-star casts. Not bad. To sustain. Now, if you're going to fall asleep at 10 p.m. Pacific time, which is 1 a.m. New York time, East Coast time, what you can do is donate $100 and we'll give you a digital download of the whole radio drama, and you get backstage interviews with Mr. Pitt, Mr. Clooney, and the rest of the cast. Not all the cast, I think, but some of the cast. Let's see, what else? Donating to This Way Out is a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission, let me get to the mission. The mission is to educate, inform, and entertain audiences around the world by making freely available the presentation of news, features, and cultural works by and about the international lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community via audio broadcast and cyber media. And here we are in the new cyber media. I want to shout out to Greg Gordon and Lucia Chappelle, who founded This Way Out in 1988 and have been in the public radio game since 1970s. So shout out to them that they're still doing this program every single week. And I believe, let me see what my time is. My timer is, I've got 5 minutes to go. So we still have plenty of time to sort of ease into the broadcast. Some of you are coming in right now. New, this is the Global Queer Read-In, a project hosted by and sponsored by This Way Out Radio. Overnight Productions is the nonprofit. Go to thiswayout.org and you can find more information about us and listen to our news wrap broadcast and our last week's episode. Throughout this broadcast, we'll be sharing news wrap headlines from last week's show. So actually some of them are already dated, but the news cycle is the news cycle. And we are already working, Greg and Lucia are working on this week's news wrap, which we'll record tomorrow, Friday, June 26th. This is a tax-deductible donation if you so choose to throw us some love and give us a tip. We are hosted by Better Unite or Better United ticket thingy. So that's all right. Let's see, we've got 4 minutes and 5 seconds, 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. This is easy. I can blather on for this long. Let's see, let's talk about some of the people that you're going to be hearing. Robin Tyler, an activist, is going to be reading When We Were Outlaws by Jean Cordova. Anthony Wayne, who's a friend of mine from, I've known him since he was 12, and now he's a Broadway star and just an amazing artist. And Anthony Wayne is going to be reading Men of the House, a B-boy blues novel by James Earl Hardy. And the actor Alfie Woodard will be reading The Fire Next Time at 5:30 Pacific time. There's a lot going on. Like, I've been so touched and moved by these readings. I've listened to most of them. I think there's 2 that are going to be a surprise to me today. And I'm looking forward to those readings. But what comes through is the personal connection that we have with the written word. And believe you me, it's not easy to read aloud in front of a camera. So I appreciate the efforts and the generosity of our participants, all of them. I want to thank the board of directors for my beautiful flowers and my beautiful flowers. Wishing me luck. John Beaupre, Tanya Kane Perry, John Dyer V, Jason Jen, who's one of our performers today, Marquita Lascar, and Travis Avery. I think that's everybody. And I'm the chair of the board. And we're very so happy to find a way through this virtual reality of bringing This Way Out and introducing you to a 31-year-old radio show through this idea of pride and celebrating pride through the written and spoken word. 3 minutes to go. All right, so Quentin Crisp is coming up first. And I want to talk just a second about my relationship with Philip Ward and Quentin Crisp. Like I said, that was my book. This is the one that showed me there's somebody else like me, and sort of defined what that was in a way. So in 1999, I got the opportunity to meet Quentin Crisp. It was my first radio production for Pacifica Radio, and I was able to interview him. And then just a month later, he passed away. And then at that time, I recorded the memorial service in New York City at Cooper Union Hall. And from there, I produced an award-winning radio program out of it called the Quentin Crisp Memorial Program. And that's where I know Philip from. So from 1999 to today, Quentin has always been with us, and Philip Ward, the state executor, is about to offer some readings from his unpublished, posthumously published autobiography. And with that, I just want to say again, welcome to everybody who's coming in to the Global Queer Read-In, a project created by me and helped by Rebecca Drafton, who's our technical director and music composer, and Chia-Sian Lee, who's our animator for our graphics. And it's really just been a team of 3, plus our board of directors and Lucia and Greg popping in and helping out with the little tasks that we are doing for the first time adventure. So thank you, and get ready and prepared for This Way Out's Global Queer Reading, the first Global Queer Read In, hard to say. Gotta fix that title later for next year, because they're for next year. So this is going to be Philip Ward and Brian Edward with Quentin Crisp. I'm Brian DeShazor for This Way Out. Thank you.